How are you? How are you, Professor Wong?
Hi, he's an old man for young people.
Thank you so much for taking the time. We really appreciate it.
I'll be happy to. What can
Oh,
I do for you?
yeah. We've been trying to meet with as many top experts as we can in adolescent development and positive psychology, and your name keeps on coming up, Professor Wong. So we had to meet you.
Well, I'm the odd man, okay? Just ask me anything.
Okay.
Don't be shocked, okay?
We'll try not to. Maybe so. Do you want to start with intros?
Yeah, maybe I can start with intros, and I would love to hear your input as well. So my name is Phil Young. I'm a senior at Wellesley College studying economics. 1 year ago, Saul and I met in an MIT course where we started looking into different industries and potentially finding a solution in the industry. So that's why we wanted to start with education and more specifically with high school. And after interviewing several faculty members and parents, students, we very quickly found out that youth mental health crisis was a big thing, especially after pandemic. So that's why currently we're in a MIT program called Delta V, where we're trying to find a solution for this problem. And yeah, that's why we're in the process of talking with experts. So thank you so much for hopping on the call again. And maybe I'll pass it on to Saul for his intro.
Yeah, perfect. So, hi, Professor Wong. So, Saul, I just recently graduated from Harvard, where I studied more machine learning and AI. But I've got a background in economics, health economics, and I really care about mental health and public health, especially adolescent development and mental, and really all of ththose fields, the intersection of all of them. So Young basically perfectly explained everything how we kind of met. We met through this MIT course, and now we're trying to help deliver something that helps solve the youth mental health crisis. That's the goal. But the problem is, it's a very big issue, and there's so many different ways that we could potentially try to solve it. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to deliver some curriculum in positive psychology, and to that end, we wanted to potentially speak with you to get your opinions on it. But I'll stop there. And Professor Wong, you don't need any introductions, but we'd love one from you anyway.
Okay. My name, I used to be Saul, but now I'm Paul.
Yes, Saul, Paul, exactly.
That means I am Christian, okay? I'm Christian.
Yeah.
And
I'm a heretic.
And I'm Chinese, okay? But I disown China. China disowned me because differences in political view. So I'm homeless. I'm no country. Okay? I'm old man without a country, nowhere to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And okay. I and Marty Silverman, peers. Mm-hmm. We both started out in the 70s. Mm-hmm. But we two go on separate ways. Mm-hmm. Okay. And he come to this helplessness thing and then parapsychology. So I've been going on different paths based on the Chinese traditional cultural teaching, Taoism, Buddhism, and Confucius teaching, and plus my Christian belief. So I got to different paths. So his path is based on cognitive behavior. Mm-hmm. Mine is based on existential spiritual. So compared to, so that's why his voice is much stronger because I'm minority, right? I'm this Asian minority, right? So my voice did not get heard until the pandemic. Then they say, oh, Paul Wong is right all along. Hey, we need to deal with suffering. Can I just be a one-dimensional parapsychology, only focus on the positive? That doesn't work anymore. Young people are questioning, What's the
Right.
point of struggling? What point getting good grade? What point of this, that? Since life we all suffering and then we all die. So the young people are raising existential questions. Okay? So that people began to discover me. While I am in my 80s, people ignore my voices for 50 years until the pandemic. People say, "Wow, Wong has something to teach us." Okay, now here's very simple. They're very simple. So this is my vision of positive youth development. Okay, you know the old one, the one-dimensional youth development based on competency, character, connection, contribution, blah, 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 okay? So mine is existentially oriented and spiritually rooted, okay? So I start out with reality, accept life as it is. Not what we expect to be, what it should be, but simply accept life as it is. And life is full of suffering, full of hardship, full of uncertainty, full of surprises. That's why when I was young in China, we will learn that if you want to succeed, you have to learn how to endure suffering. No suffering, no future. So we are armed with a mindset. That's why Bruce Lee said that you want a better future, you work hard today. Rather than the mentality that let's enjoy now, have comfort now. So that the Chinese parents object to children to learn from their Western students. Oh, let's enjoy, let's have fun. But life is more than fun. You can have fun later on. But the key, you have to be prepared to face life, that this world can be a very cold, very cruel. You have no money and can go to the hospital. Of course, you're born in a rich family and they don't worry about that. But for most people, life is a constant struggle from birth. When I was born during the Japanese War, I had no milk, so I was deformed. I was no nutrition. I was deformed. Okay, I got a sunken chest. Can you see my sunken chest?
Can't see.
I take my clothes.
Yeah, deformed but very strong. You were able to rip up your shirt.
Okay, so the first thing I teach my clients and my students, you better wake up from this, life is easy, life is safe. This nonsense going on, okay? This is taught by psychology. No, life is hard. Life can be very cruel.
Yeah.
Life can break you. Life can kill you unless you learn to be smart and strong. That's the message I teach my children, my students, my clients. Number one. Now, if I believe that life is so hard that I got depressed, I fear not. Fear not. Because we were given the innate capacity to believe what can be only imagined, to believe in something that we do not see. Believe is to hope for something that we don't have concrete evidence. So we need to believe, have to activate spirituality, activate the capacity for belief. That's what will save me from depression, save me from suicide, save me from giving up. the faculty, the capacity for faith means three things. Faith in myself, that I had the potential to do something in this life. I need to find my true calling. And then if I find my true calling, then I put my heart and soul to it and to fully develop it so that I can live a better life and make this world a better place for other people. So I have not self-advocacy, it's beyond self-advocacy. I believe in my potential. Believe that I can turn my vulnerability, turn my weaknesses into my strengths through God's help. So to believe in myself, and I believe in other people. I need help. I can tell my assistant and say, I am retarded in terms of technology, so I want young people to help me with my computer problems.
Sure.
Yeah, so
and your wife.
She better than me, but my young people, my young assistant know a lot more technology than older generation. They grew up with computer, right? So I'm not ashamed to say, oh, I'm retarded, help me. I'm a helpless old man. I don't know how to use computer, how to use AI. Help me. So seeking help.
Sure.
Seeking and receiving help. That's humility. They're not taught in parapsychology. All those people in parapsychology are arrogant jerks. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I won't tell anybody.
They're all arrogant jerks, okay? All the people in America, they're all arrogant jerks. So
okay.
I'm humble, so I say, I'm helpless. Help me. I'm not ashamed of that. Wow, that made me stronger. You know why? But people feel sorry of this old man to help me. That's why I'm struggling out. That's why I'm still going on strong, because help, give me help me. I can't lift this up. I can't open the bottle. I'm weak.
That's just your strategy, Professor Wong. That's your strategy to get other people out. You know you can do it. You just help out.
No. I really can't. My hand a little bit. I don't play games. It's real, okay?
Okay.
But I have one more secret weapon. Boy, that blew it away. Okay. Oh God. You can call that Tao. You can call that Logos. You can call that the Great Spirit, whatever we call it, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. People often ask me, honestly, people ask me, where did you get your ideas? Where did you get your vision? I said, do you really want to know? I said, in my isolation as a retired professor, in my desperation, with all the big guns pointed at me, this poor one is a rebel, let's shoot him. With all the big guns pointed at me, starting from settlement, with all the big guns pointed at me. I don't want to go, but I refuse to see die. I refuse to turn over and die. I said, God help me. God help me. Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
I have cancer. God help me. I have kidney problem. God help me. I suppressed the doctors. I did not die. I almost died several times. I'm 85. I went to hospital many times. I'm secret and strong,
Yeah.
and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Wow, imagine young people have that in faith. They're not afraid of anything. They're unbeatable, unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
Faith in God, faith in other people, faith in myself. So the number 2 point, this is golden triangle. I call it golden triangle. Faith in myself, faith in other people, faith in God. I'm unbeatable, unstoppable. I'm still standing tall. That's the proof. The everything should be done. Everything should be done. They see me as a threat.
So, yeah, I think it's amazing. I think that the question then is just in your opinion, how do you teach this?
Well, just be patient, okay?
Sorry.
I can't know 2 point. So I have 5.2 to complement the 5 C's of possible youth development. I have 5 points. The first point is believe in reality. 2, accept reality. 2, believe in all the impossibilities. Believe. The most powerful thing is believe. Now C. Wow. C, commitment. Do you know what commitment is? Commitment means that I have been awakened. I realize that I cannot continue life the way I am. I need to change. If I don't change, there's no future. If I don't change, I'll be wasting my life in misery. If I don't change, I'll continue the inner struggle to do or not to do, to take drug or not to take drug.
Mm-hmm. To be or not to be?
To be, not to be. Thank you, Saul. To continue or to give up. To marry or not marry. Can't trust this guy. Oh, can't trust this woman.
Try to say, Professor Wong.
This world is full of fake people. Can't trust this beautiful woman. Is she a snake inside her heart? The heart is deceitful. Can't trust this man. Don't really know how to talk. Really smooth talking guy. Is he a two-timer? I said, I need wisdom to know right or wrong, good and bad. I need virtue to do the good thing. The psychology now, virtue and wisdom, right? Yeah. I talk about wisdom of the soul. To complement wisdom of the body and wisdom of the ego, I now talk about wisdom of the soul, our existential intelligence. Howard Gardner never developed it. I back him. I say, you better develop it. I say, I'm retired, I'm too lazy, I didn't want to do it. You don't do it, I'll do it for you. Existential intelligence, I need it. Now, commitment. I am awakened, I need to change. So I make a commitment to change. But changing is very difficult because that is to replace new habit, replace old habit with new habit. Okay? So I commit because Christian Miller from Forest Hill, Christian Miller about character gap. He's saying that people are a mixed bag of good and evil. Nobody is completely virtuous.
Yeah.
So I'm make a commitment to be a more virtuous person, because other research shown that character matters. You can have a better future, you can have a better society if people are more virtuous. That means they don't spread conspiracy theory, They don't spread disinformation. They don't lie. They're not cruel to people. So we want to encourage all people to realize that they're not good enough. They need path to change. Learning to be better, stronger, and wiser, learning wisdom, existential intelligence, learning to strengthen their body physically. So I do exercise every day. Even though I was born weak, grew up weak, no nutrition, as a war baby. I'm still my muscle. I still have muscle. I still have the muscle.
That's why you can remember.
Oh, serious. So I'm learning every day, learning some new things every day, reading every day, doing exercise every day, pray every day. So I make a commitment to be better than I was yesterday. Today I meet you, so I'm better than yesterday before meeting you.
I don't know if that's true, Professor Wong. But me, you're worse today.
Yeah, but that gives me hope. The young people like you are caring about helping other young people. That gives me great joy, give me hope. The young people is not just talking about fame and money. Talk about helping have a heart, have a vision to help other people. That restore my faith in humanity. You guys restore my faith in humanity. Well, I'm gonna cry.
Okay. Well, thank you, Professor. Don't cry.
Wait, cut nonsense. I cut nonsense. Okay, that's my story. Okay. So I committed to be a better, stronger, and wiser person each day. It's not whenever I feel like. I learned the discipline as a child in China. I do it every day. It's not whenever I feel like. In the West, tell you whenever you feel like. I don't feel like doing it. No, it doesn't matter. You get on and do it. Commit to improve myself every day. Another thing more important is that I committed to make every day count, to make the best use of every day in order to fulfill God's purpose in my life. We're all unique. We're all meant to be somebody that make a unique contribution to the society. This concept of knowing my calling, I might not know it right away. I used to dream about being a painter, being a violinist, right? Being a writer, but all failed. I meant to be a psychologist. That's why I thrive. So it might take some time, but never give up the hope of discovering your real calling. Once you're real calling, then you're unstoppable. Unbeatable, unstoppable, because you believe in God, right? We said earlier, building on number 2. Number 3, be committed to striving towards my high aspiration. Keep my dopamine pumping, so I'm happy. Okay, yeah. No, see. Number 4, wow, that you very exciting. I discovered something about me that I didn't know before. I discovered the mystery and wonders of this universe that I never knew before. I discovered the unsearchable riches of God's love, God's grace. Each day, His compassion is renewed each day. And God, the reward of searching God is that He reward me with a sense of security. He reward me with a sense of guidance. he promised me that if you lack wisdom, ask God. He'll be very generous to give you wisdom. So that's why people ask me where my wisdom comes from. My wisdom doesn't come from drinking Chinese water. My, my wisdom comes from my wisdom comes from tapping into the resources of God. Right? I discover new resources. I didn't know I was stronger than I thought. God is more loving than I thought. God is more real than I thought. The invisible is more real than the visible. You are a theoretical physicist, you'll know that what we see as solid may not be solid. It's all energy. Eh? That the invisible is more real than the visible. And the moral spiritual forces are more powerful than all the energies of the physical world. It's the spiritual world, it's the main driver, keep the cosmos going. God is, there's something that we cannot see, keep all the galaxies, the cosmos going in order. Yeah? We don't understand that. So if we don't get God, we don't understand. But I discover more about Him every day. I spend at least an hour a day in the morning praying for God, wrestling with God, seeking guidance. So therefore I start each day with energy, with renewed energy, that God is with me, God is my help. I do not fear what man can do to me. Come on, give me your best shot and see who's good laugh last. So I discover something new every day. It's like a child. The Bible says, unless you become a child, you can go to heaven. I become like a child, curious about what happened today. Now you guys call, that's a surprise. I didn't expect that. Okay? I expect it from two young people. Usually people call me old people.
Well, you've got the wisdom.
Young people, okay? I also work with Harvard human flourishing program, but most of them are older than you. So I'm very impressed. Anyway, so the 4.0, say, accept reality, believe in possibility, committed to positive change, discover something new every day, and then I can enjoy life, enjoyment. The last one is part of your development. Now, even the world is so tough, but I can still smile. I can still laugh at myself. I can still, I enjoy the process of turning hell into heaven every day. I enjoy the intrinsic reward of growing every day. Mm-hmm. I enjoy the intrinsic reward of helping people every day. Mm-hmm. I enjoy each day, enjoy the reward of making a contribution every day. So my reward does not depend on recognition, does not depend on money. That's why I'm so poor.
Yeah, that's another problem.
But my reward is intrinsic. It's intrinsic. I don't monetize my stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I think that the new economy, it had to be based on the economy of wisdom, economy of humanism, how to make the world a better place. Not to say myself, what to save this planet, save this world from climate change, from nuclear war.
Mm-hmm. Sorry about that. That was from me.
Oh, you scared me. You scared me.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Life is suffering. You gotta be prepared for surprises.
I'm still laughing. See, I say I'm scared, but I'm still laughing. See, this. I'm able to hold two opposite things in my hand, right? Not just one thing. Not two dimensional, not one dimensional binary way of looking at the world, but two dimensional and dialectical, holding two opposite ideas in two hands. Find a happy medium. I'm happy.
Right.
I feel it's hot. I need a sip of coffee.
Yeah, perfect time for some coffee.
It's good. It's good.
Right coffee.
Okay.
Do you put milk? Do you put milk and sugar?
Huh?
No milk. In your coffee, what do you put inside of it?
Little bit.
Black?
Little bit of milk and sugar. A little bit.
Honey.
Little bit.
Honey. I was just honey.
Honey.
Honey. Yeah.
And
Honey.
almond milk.
Okay.
And almond milk.
So now, you have any questions? Ask me.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that was a fantastic overview and framework of everything. Just quick question: what was the fifth point? It goes accept reality, belief in possibility, commitment to positive change, and then discover something new every day.
You
The fifth one,
enjoy life, enjoyment.
enjoyment.
Enjoy being alive. If Cinnamon say count three good things, I say count your blessings. Doesn't mean how blessings goes. See the difference?
Yeah.
I say count your blessings one by one every day. That makes me more powerful than counting your three good things. Sometimes for the people struggling, nothing good happen, all blessings. But I still count my blessing of being alive, of being able to have friends, of being able to preach with God every day. I have my wife supporting me. I have two good, beautiful children. One is a Harvard professor. One is a lawyer. So I still have thank God every day, right? For all the blessings. You think one person go back, one thing to go, everything I guess go wrong, doesn't go my way. I don't have anything good happen, but I still count the blessing. So the last point is real enjoy life now. In the midst of, I can enjoy life in the midst of suffering.
In the midst of suffering.
I can let my think grow deeper in dark soil suffering, so I can grow taller, and spread my leaves against in the midst of storm. That is like an oak tree. That's two-dimensional parapsychology. It's not one-dimensional.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic. I think really the question then, a follow-up question is this framework. What's the best way, in your opinion, to teach this to adolescents?
Well, I teach children even. I can teach children. I can teach any age. Let me give you a developmental framework, okay? Are you parents?
No.
Are you married?
No.
Married children?
No.
Oh, how lucky!
Not yet.
How lucky you are! How lucky you are!
I won't tell you why, Professor Wong. I promise.
Okay.
She's right there.
Do you know about Erickson's development to a mental stages? Okay.
No.
I know. So he said that in every developmental stage, that is a developmental task you accomplish. Okay. There's a struggle to accomplish the task. So I'm saying the same thing, but slightly different language. I say, life is full of struggle. Life is a constant battle. Life began with a loud cry of protest to leave mommy's comfortable womb to get in this cold world. The kids protest. Wow! Life ends with pain and fear of dying. Life begins with suffering, end with suffering. In between, wow, every developmental stage is full of suffering. As a baby, due to cling to the mother's arms 24/7, of this separation anxiety. The mommy had to go to bed with him, had to feed him whenever on demand. So you're a baby. You're in the baby state, full of fear of insecurity, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection. And nowadays, talk about children suffer trauma of rejection, abandonment, and betrayal. So you're a baby. You're suffering you're suffering from fear of separation. But secure attachment, very important for future health, means you learn that sometimes mommy had to be away to do things, but mommy will always come back. It's a secure attachment. My son in daycare, other people worry about what my son would say, oh, mommy always come back. Don't you cry. He will tell other kids. My mommy will always come back. That's secure attachment. As a toddler, they explore the world with their feet, with their hands. They're curious about everything. But their parents have to protect them, to set boundaries. No, can't do that. Don't go to the stove. Don't cross the street. Don't do this, do that. The kids say, why? So again, it's a struggling. The kids, a toddler, run around. Does not know the danger in this world. Parents know better. You play with fire, you can get your hand burned. You cross the street, they're looking, you can get killed. So during the second stage of life, they learn to obey orders, legitimate orders, for their own good. They learn that they are freedom, but they also legitimate boundaries. One research has shown that when you have fences, the kids feel more free running around. Mm-hmm. Without fences, the kids are more scared. They're less willing to explore new territory. So actually, boundary make people feel freer, safer. That this world is a total mess. People no longer fear God. People fear nothing. They think there's no consequence. They think that it's power to do anything they want. Putin thinks they can destroy Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Xi Jinping thinks that they can crush Taiwan. They think they're forcing the answer. But there are consequences. You're taught how to run that what respect boundary. When you're dating, same thing. The woman had to respect boundary. not force their own view on the other person. The boundary, see, they learn boundary. That's something they learn, right? As children, they learn the importance of making friends, civilization. All you learn in kindergarten. All you need to learn, you learn in primary school. The basic rules of give and take turn, be polite to people, helping each other, respect each other, the basic civilization. How to get along with each other peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
How to give help and receive help joyfully. So we have a much happier family. We have much happier marriage. If people learn the basic rule is that that's for you, in order for the other person. We learn how to treat each other with genuineness. We learn how to speak the truth in love. We know how to sacrifice ourselves for other people's well-being. So this virtue, this value of caring for other people, respect other people's rights, about helping each other, those values, those virtues are supposed to be learned in primary school and in kindergarten. So in primary school, they learn how to get along, not just how to get ahead. In the balance, how to get ahead, doing your best, but also learn how to get along. See, it's both.
Mm-hmm.
How to get ahead must be balanced with how to get along. So during primary school, you learn basic social skills. That's why in Japan, well, I don't know about Korea. In Japan, they don't grade them in primary school. They teach them the more important manner, learn how to treat people with respect, learn social skill. Those cannot be graded. Okay? When you get older, in adolescent began to ask, who am I? I'm going to be an adult person. What am I going to do with my life? What my future holds? Am I going to be pretty? Am I going to be rich? I'm going to be pretty and rich.
Yeah, those are the questions that I asked.
Am I going to marry my dream girl? Am I going to marry my dream man? So that is the time they discover their existential being. They begin to ask existential questions. So that's why in positive education, the meaning of life, the meaning of suffering should be key topic in learning. What the meaning of life? What the meaning of my existence? So that is a topic that should be covered in secondary school. How should I live? What kind of person should I be? What kind of life will I live? What kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be? Do you want to sell my soul to earn the whole world? Or do you want to choose a more virtuous path? I want to sacrifice my self-interest to serve humanity, make this world a better place. So instead of have selfish ambition, I have a more greater aspiration. For most young people, their world is too small. They need vision to have bigger vision to include a future that is better than ours. That for future generation. They should have vision big enough for future generation, for planet Earth, and for harmony with God, with other people, and within ourselves. So we start out believing or finding my true self, relating to others, and relating to the higher power. We learn how to, that's the foundation for mental health. We have mental health crisis because people are like fish without water. They are no longer connected with their soul. They are no longer connected with people. They are no longer connected with God. Their soul is starving. Their brain getting bigger, bigger to explode. Their soul is shriveling, starving, unnourished, ignored. So Frankl talked about the unheard cry for meaning. Deep down, we are crying out. What is always, I was mankind are very successful, but they still have this nagging inner torment or meaningless. Because I say, because you are a spiritual being as well, not just somatic, physical, not just theological, but you also have a spiritual dimension. So a part of education has to account for the spiritual dimension as well. So meaning dealing with the spiritual dimension. So during the adolescent stage, they began to learn, began to search for the essential questions. Well, young adult like you guys, try to get established, try to establish your career, establish your home, your own. It is a battle. We'll succeed, we'll fail, we are able to compete with the guys better looking than you are or smarter than you are. So during the young adulthood, there's also a conflict. So that's why that's the time they learn the importance of partnership, of finding lifetime friend, royal partner, working together for a project bigger than what can be handled by one person. So in a virtual world, it's more important than ever to treat people with genuineness, with one's heart and soul. No playing games, no fakeness. Brutal honesty, authenticity. And those things, say things from one's heart, from depth of one's soul. So you forge lifelong partnership as a basis for future development.
Right.
So in the Middle Age, all my life is half gone. What is my bucket list? The things I need to do in order not to regret. People begin to think about how to redeem themselves. You know, what's his name? McAdam talked about the redemptive life. Go to in the Middle Age to redeem himself. In the middle age, they have their regrets, they have their mistakes, they have said things harshly to people that they didn't mean to. They have hurt somebody they never meant to. And there are things they need to do, that there are things they all want to do, but never the guts to do it. So in the middle age, they began the time of life review, evaluation. So it's not too late to make changes. You're never too old to make changes. So in middle age, it began to turn inward, not just fighting in the world, but began to turn inward, become the interior reorientation, evaluate the moral landscape, their whole life, review their life. So then it began to shift from self-enhancement to self-transcendence. So there's a shift going on in the middle age, because in the middle age, you can expand. Yeah. But self-expansion, self-enhancement will end one day. So you have to be compensated, balanced by transcending time and space, transcending all physical and mental limitation to be in touch spiritually with the higher power, with the future, beyond death. So that made the middle age more hopeful, right? So that's the hope. But you need to switch from self-enhancement to self-transcendence. How to transcend your own limitation, how to transcend time and space limitations, how to get in touch with the transcendental values, which are invisible but very important in life. Okay? Now in old age, in my stage, I'm thinking about myself now. In old age, it's all about self-transcendence. I don't care about how many people publish. I don't care. I really don't care whether people recognize me or not. I'm going to die pretty soon, right? I can die tomorrow. I don't want to scare you, okay?
Don't scare me, Professor.
Honestly, I'm an 85-year-old man, can drop dead anytime, right? So I don't want to scare you, okay?
You're scared me.
So my mindset is just about you guys, about the future generation, about my grandchildren's generation. How can I make this world a kinder, gentler place? That's my main concern. So in old age, it's still a battle. The battle between good and evil, it still goes on. You can be a grumpy old man and bitter old man. You can choose to be either bitter or better. You can either choose resentment or gratitude. You can choose to sit down and wait to die, or choose to continue to develop yourself. That's why Frankl said that you can develop meaning until the last breath. Frankl talk about ultimate meaning, and I talk about ultimate happiness. The ultimate meaning and ultimate happiness is always beyond reach, but it's always there. We can always approximate, we can always getting closer and closer. So in our old age, we are getting closer to the ultimate meaning, ultimate happiness. So therefore, I die happy. Fini, I'm done.
that honest, that entire thing. I mean, you just walked us through basically an entire journey, Professor Wong. I feel more prepared for middle life and older life now more than ever.
I'm closer to the ultimate meaning, ultimate happiness. So I'm happy.
Yeah,
See?
good.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not gonna drop dead at any time, though, Professor Wong. You can't see. You're scaring me.
Okay, I understand. Okay. I don't want to give you nightmares. Okay? You should talk to a dying person. I might die anytime.
Okay. Well, listen, Professor Wong, thank you so much. I really
Okay,
appreciate
bye-bye.
it.
Thank you for listening to me. Okay, bye-bye. Bye.
And thank you as well, Dr. Wong. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for setting it up.
Well, I'm glad you are working with adolescents.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah, it's
you know,
tough, though, isn't it?
yeah, because in the life journey, adolescence is a very crucial period of life.
Yeah.
You see, I've been as a psychoeducational consultant for many school boards. We work from kindergarten to university. And it is so hard to, to work among so many, well, anyways, I'm not going to go in there. Yeah, and I was a school psychologist for 2 large school boards. I have seen, adolescents, lots of times, they were in transition between a child and an adult. And so they have to face reality, but they themselves don't know where they're going. And emotionally, they are developing, and they started to think existentially. And so I have found the most powerful message you could give to the adolescents group is modeling. You can say all you want. You could be as creative as you can with all the activities, but they are watching you. So who you are is more important than what you say. And this is why when I'm teaching my students, when I'm training teachers, I told them, you have to deal with yourself. You deal with your own and be honest. And we be transparent, but you are the model for them. And that is the loudest voice, and you can give them. And also, a lot of times, teachers talk. There are guidance teachers, there are counselors and everything else. They never learn how to listen. For adolescents, it is so important to listen. Listen verbally, listen non-verbally. A lot of times, they do not have the vocabulary to carry how they feel. However, you could watch them, their eyes, the movement, and the breathing, and you have to learn how to read the non-verbal expressions of the adolescents. It is so important. And also allow them time to reflect. I have a 9-year-old girl. She came in and she just sat there. After we were talking with them, one day she came in and she just ran right in on my couch. And I said, I know I cannot change my mommy. I know I cannot change my daddy, but I know I can change myself. You see? And this is why when you're working with adolescents, this is very important period of life that you can shape them. But it's so hard because everybody from a different environment, everybody has a different personality, and everybody had a different, task. And God created them for a particular, gifts that they have. Look at the Asians. I know the parents always say, do math, be an engineer, be a doctor, because that's you're going to have a good life. Good, with good intention. I don't blame the parents. They know what the world is like. They want to equip their children. However, as Paul said, God created individuals different gifts. You see, they have gifts to creativity. But look at the painters don't make a lot of money. And there are people who are given a very special gifts. I have 2 children. They are 5 years apart. The first one, he's an entertainment lawyer, and he is the head of the legal department of Wattpad. And I mean, he loves to dance. When we were in Los Angeles, he got the first, he was only 8 years old. He's got a prize for dancing. I mean, in California. And he loved to sing. But the second one, I thought I knew how to handle the child. But he didn't. He would say, okay, mommy, and he will, dance, yeah, okay. And he will sing, yeah, okay. But most of the time, what he does is counting fingers. And he's looking at things. And he would just draw. He accommodate what I want him to do. And yet, he has a different mindset. And that's why he is a professor at Harvard. He's doing a lot of DNA research and everything else. You need that kind of a brain to look into something you don't see at all. And you cannot define, right? So if I make my younger son to do exactly what my older son, it will be a disaster, right? And so that's why we have to, even yourself, you're young people, I'm very pleased and I'm very happy that you guys are looking after the next generation. And you got to do self-care, and you got to discover what your gifts are. And then you'll be successful and you'll be happy. Success does not mean that you have billionaires. I always say people should never have billions. There's so many people who need it. You got to share, right?
Right.
So anyways, thank you for letting me talk.
No, honestly, thank you. I feel as if we need to schedule another meeting so we can go through this again with you personally as well. It's so useful.
Oh, I love what we do now. It is a very, very good time. Well, all the best to you. At any time, if you have any questions, email us. And you have our email, and we'll be content. Now, where are you located right now?
Both of us in Boston on MIT campus.
Oh, you are? I want Copley Plaza in Boston.
Oh, okay, so close. Yeah, you're just right up there. The MIT. We're in MIT right now.
You are? Yeah. I said to Wesley, the only place I want to go in this world is Cambridge. And we were living on top of Trader Joe. I want Trader Joe coffee.
It's a good place to live. It's good.
Next time when I go to visit Wesley, I'm going to get you guys together. Have a great day and have a productive week, okay? Nice meeting you.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye for now.
Bye now.
Bye.